Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is part 2 of the John Deere 318 troubleshooting the compression issues. Recently posted part 1 of that video where I explained the issue I was having, did a couple compression tests and leak down tests, and confirmed that I have an issue on this left side cylinder. And I mentioned at the end of that video that I was going to go ahead and do a valve adjustment and possibly pull the heads if I needed to. What I ended up deciding to do is I pulled the heads anyway and did everything all at once: valve adjustment, decarbon, investigated everything else while I was at it. So in today's video I want to talk about the results of that investigation and what I did. All right, so first of all, I tore everything down, tore the carburetor, intake manifold, exhaust manifold, all that stuff off, pulled the heads, valve covers, everything, just down to get a look at everything. And what I found right away when I looked at the valves was all of the valves had no lash whatsoever. They were all very tight. They should be, I think it's 5 thousandths for the intake valves, 13 thousandths for the exhaust valves. There was none for any of them. So right away it pointed to it, that could have been a problem that I was having, contributing to the issue with the compression on the left side if one of those valves wasn't closing all the way, if it was worse than some of the others or something like that. So right away there was a problem there. The second problem that I found was on the left side cylinder. The cylinder wall had some significant scoring. The right side was clean, but the left side has some significant scoring. And, in the last video, when I did the leak down test, I didn't see a difference between the left and right sides. And I was sort of thinking about it before I started tearing into it, that maybe it was something that I couldn't see with the leak down test, being that the cylinders are at top dead center. The scoring is lower on the cylinder wall, so some of that compression could be being lost in the stroke as it's coming up before it gets to the top. And so there's a good chance that scoring was contributing to the compression issue that I was having. So in an attempt to solve this problem, I did two things. I did a full valve adjustment on it. That was a piece of cake, not a problem to do since I had it apart already. And then I also just took a hone and just lightly kissed the side of the cylinder wall for this left side where the scoring was. It's not something I would normally do. I really think that, given the condition of it, it probably should just be torn down and rebuilt. But since I had it apart, I wanted to see, if it was going to improve that at all, help with the compression a little bit. So I did take a hone to it just for a few seconds to try to get rid of some of that scoring. You can still see it there if you look at it, but you can't feel any of it with your finger. Initially you could. So that was my, attempt there just to see if that would help out at all. Long term though, I think that this engine should probably be torn down and rebuilt eventually. All right, so results. I did do a compression test after that. The compression on the left side did match the right side. They were both in the low 90s cold. So that was a really good sign. So when I started the tractor up, it ran really poorly at first. I ended up finding out that I screwed up when I adjusted the points, because while I was in there, I decided, okay, I'm going to look at the points, clean them, and adjust them. I messed something up because I had the timing off. So once I figured out that issue, the tractor actually runs really well right now. Not seeing any sort of power loss issues or anything like that. So that seems like that solved my issue. I don't know how long it's going to last. If it was the cylinder wall scoring that was the issue, the hone is more of a band-aid in my opinion, and not something I recommend doing long term. Like I said, I think really this tractor should probably be rebuilt. But for now, we're going to run it. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to check the compression on it here and there just to make sure that it's maintaining where it should be, and we'll go from there. At some point, whenever I get a chance to actually put this tractor into the shop and decide what I want to do as far as either a rebuild or repower or something like that. So that's where that is. But like I said before, there is a chance that the issue actually could have been the valves. I don't think this tractor ever had a valve adjustment. Given how tight they were, there was a good chance that this thing's never been apart before. It's got about 920 hours on it now. I think the interval for valve adjustment is every 500. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's every 500 hours. So this really was due for its, coming up on due for its second valve adjustment. It may have never had one at all. So definitely something to keep up with. It's not a really hard job. It's more effort to tear it down to get to the valve covers than it is to do the actual valve adjustment. But it's not a real hard job. You can get gasket kits for this. I got Onan gaskets from onanparts.com just they give you head gaskets and valve cover gaskets and intake and exhaust manifold gaskets to do this job, to do a valve adjustment and a decarbon. So it's convenient. You can pick up a set of gaskets just for this job, have everything you need, pull it apart, do the adjustment, check everything else out while you're in there, and then you're good to go. So So at least it's got that, it's up to maintenance now on the valve adjustment, and we'll go from there as far as the health of the tractor as I move forward. But that's pretty much all I have for today's video. You can see the front end still off the tractor, so I do need to get that back on. So I'll put that on. And right now it's winter time. Behind on getting this tractor set up for snow since it's been down. So it's going to be time to get the mower deck off of this thing and get the plow on the front. So we'll see how it holds up over the winter here if I end up having to use it for snow. All right, everybody, that's all I have. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.